We did Axel, so now we have to do the female counterpart. Zara was a villain introduced in part 2 of Cobra Kai season 6. She quickly became very intimidating for how strong she was compared to the other female fighters. Zara's most memorable moment is when we saw her dismantle fan favorite Tori in a matter of like a minute. With a villain this powerful obviously going to lose eventually due to the rules of storytelling, how is a villain like this going to be defeated in part 3? Tori defeats Zara in the most dominant fight I have ever seen in the show, and with this, sparked some controversy. Was Zara nerfed? Today, we will be answering this question. First off, we have to see where Zara stood by the end of part 2. Zara walked into the Sekai Taikai as the reigning Sekai Taikai female champion. Zara's first fight was when she beat up Tori, probably her best feat in part 2. She then proceeded to progress through the tournament without getting hit, showing otherworldly agility and skills. Even though her counterpart Axel usually gets more spotlight, there's no denying that she was an integral part to the Iron Dragons. Her last scenes in part 2 are when she beats up Maria from the Furia de Pantera dojo, someone who was going toe-to-toe with Sam for a bit, but she also fights Tori again in a not so dominant performance. So, by the end of part 2, Zara might have been the strongest female fighter, and might not have been due to how she performed against Tori, but I'll let you decide that. Anyways, heading into part 3, we don't see much of Zara, like, at all. Compared to Zara, she gets pretty much no screen time for a main villain, which is kind of weird. We see her in a training montage with Axel as well as beating up people with 540s like usual, but when she fights Tori, she does get the upper hand right away, scoring 5 easy points. From this point on, it seems like Tori is absolutely cooked. Zara is just too good for her. But then Tori proceeds to do one of the most diabolical things I have ever seen in martial arts shows. Beat Zara like 40 something to 5. After this, Zara was not seen again. So, was Zara nerfed? We first have to understand one very big thing. Zara was never an Axel. Okay, Zara was not as dominant as Axel. As, you know, Tori was beating her up, like, in the finale. Which you could just attribute this to Tori just being really good. But Zara was just never as intimidating as Axel was. And she was never going to be an Axel. Okay, she was just really good. She was just, like, one of the best. And, like, an obstacle for Tori. So, Tori by the end of part 2, people who talk about Tori losing to Zara in the first fight are so blinded by their down badness, I'm not gonna lie, like, don't even lie, that they completely forgot that Tori was beating her up in the finale at their peaks. This does matter since Tori does train between her getting beat up and her beating up, and so does Zara. So this, in their brawl, is them at their peaks. So those of you who think that by the end of part 2, Zara is still way stronger than Tori, you are just objectively wrong, and on-screen feats literally prove you wrong. So, going into part 3, where Tori is still training, mind you, I don't understand how it's so crazy to people that Tori managed to further this gap even more. Considering the fact that she got a crazy agility upgrade and skills, and she was trained in Cobra Kai and picking up Miyagi-Do, so much that she practically fused with it using Sam's stance. So Tori, who does know 2 styles, but was primarily versed in Cobra Kai, beating up Zara already, and now having mastery over 2 styles and forming a bigger gap, it seems pretty normal to me. I think this debate mostly spikes from the fact that people forgot that Tori beat up Zara in the finale. Maybe beating up is kind of a stretch, but she was shown to not be like way below anymore like in the very first fight. But the finale is objectively more important than the start of the season feats. If you're trying to scale characters at their peaks, you scale them at their peaks, not start of season before any important training. So, in conclusion, was Zara nerfed? This is such an easy no, like not even a little bit. She was just a fraud who looked good for her brand, right? Tori wasn't always better than her, but closed the gap by the end of part 2, and only furthered it in part 3, with her mastering Miyagi-Do. She was not nerfed, nor was part 2 Zara that much stronger than part 2 Tori, like throughout the entire season, because, I mean, if you want to argue Zara stronger, that's fine, but by the end of part 2, there's no arguing that Tori is very, very relative to her. Zara was never an Axel, So I don't think saying Zara is nerfed is very... Maybe you could get away with Axel being nerfed a little bit, but Zara, not at all. Anyways, guys, that's all I got for today. Eat your green, stay healthy. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.